to Train Your Dragon 2 is possibly my favorite animated movie, second to none, and that's including even the Lego movie. The Empire Strikes Back of its franchise, the second installment improves on its already fantastic original, going a little deeper and a little darker into its world, providing an emotional, action-packed coming-of-age tale of a boy to a man. Hey guys, I'm Nick, and today let's talk about the Viking Hiccup's journey to manhood. This sequel takes place 5 years after the first. Hiccup is now a tender age of 20 and much better looking and is at a crossroads in his life. Like many of us young adolescents, he is struggling with the choice that will determine who he is forever. The line he says in this scene is perfect for the kind of existential crisis he is feeling.
What you're searching for isn't out there, Hiccup. It's in here.
He just has the spirit of a dragon, daring and curious, the need to explore and map to his heart's content. Yet this search outside mirrors the search on the inside. He's searching endlessly, restlessly, to find out who he is. He's struggling with trying to hold on to what he was as a child and be unchanged into his adulthood, staying that idealistic and good-hearted peacekeeper that he was in the first film, without accepting some of the harsher realities of the real world. This is noticeable when he discovers
Dargo Bloody Fist or something.
His first choice is to track him down and try to reason with the needless war, even against both of his parents, who out of their own experience, one almost being killed, argues otherwise. And so poor Hiccup gets even more confused, and his adolescent blues are only fired up even more. This is also an interesting take that DeBlau's, the director and writer, brings to the movie. The kid isn't right here. Unlike the first, he's wrong, and his parents are right. He hasn't learned the lesson yet, one of the main themes of the film, that his people should always be protected first, even over his noble intentions. This ties into the subtle anti-war theme of the movie as well, that one should always strive for peace, but should always fight if necessary.
For you, my dear, anything.
And so, it's only the tragic turning point of the film where his childish idealism crushes him. Hiccup's forced to grow up and learn an important lesson. When he finally confronts Drago, he learns, although admirable, his childish aspirations for peace have blinded him. Not only now has Drago tried to kill both of his parents, he's killed the Dragon Alpha in front of him in cold blood. He thought he could change a man that won't be changed, end a war that had already started, instead of taking responsibility for more than himself. He quotes the symbolic words he so heartily thinks will change Drago.
And we have the answer back on Burke. Just let me show you.
And then he finally gets back to the even more symbolic.
Me, show you.
And so then someone dies, which is tragically sad, and Hiccup realizes he's actually responsible for his father's death. As he says,
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm not the chief that you wanted me to be. And I'm not the peacekeeper I thought I was. I don't know.
At this point in the film, he loses all faith in being the chief his father wanted, and all faith in being the peacekeeper that he needed to be. He doesn't know who he is. All he knows now is, this is his fault. Stoic's death had to happen for him to see that sometimes you must fight. You have to protect your own first, no matter what. This is the anti-war message coming through again. However, his mother so beautifully tells him here that his father never doubted him, that he always knew he'd become the strongest of them all. She tells him here who he truly is.
You have the heart of a chief and the soul of a dragon. Only you can bring our worlds together. That is who you are.
It takes him all this time to learn that he has both his father and his mother inside him, the dragon and the chief, the peacekeeper and the protector. Only he can have the best of both. He was so afraid he wasn't his father, not only because of his difference, but because he never knew how he could. How could he be as brave or as strong? It's only now, after his father's death, he realizes that he can only try. That he can only try to be as brave and only try to be the peacekeeper that he needs to be. He learns a very important lesson. No one is set in stone. The only people that we are who we aspire to be. This is where Hiccup becomes a man. Standing in the dying light of his father, he lets go of his childish impulses, but holds on to what they made him. He becomes the chief.
A chief protects his own.
And so at the climax of the film where Hiccup meets Drago again, It's a very different confrontation. This time, it's war. Yet he does not want war with every fibre of his being. This time, however, he knows what must be done. Now knowing who he is, he offers Drogo one last chance for peace, before doing what he must.
Let this end now!
Never!
Then both Toothless and Hiccup growing up. The Alpha and the Chief. Hiccup in this movie finally ascends to manhood, and so his identity, taking the best of his parents and the best of himself, overcoming his childish impulses and growing up, remembering the child he was in the first, and becoming the chief his father always knew he'd be. Earning his heart of a chief, and freeing his soul of the dragon. Thank you for watching.